Hey, this is Thomas, your trusted advisor here. Yes, it's been a month since you last saw me. So many of you DM or email me just to make sure if I'm okay. So thanks so much for your support. Yes, I did take a little break, but my team and I also want to use this time to prepare for season 2. We use this month to dive deeper on what you want. We have been collecting feedbacks, trying to improve the quality of the videos. And for content-wise, we are also connecting with more speakers and experts, as well as giving you more practical examples on retirements, wealth, and insurance planning in Canada. So again, thanks so much for your patience, and let's begin. Are you a business owner who wants to thrive to the top? What is your strategies to automate and scale your business then? Now, I want to start my season 2 by bringing in a great entrepreneur and superb influencer. If you're using social media now to leverage your business, then I'm sure the name Desmond soon has come across. Desmond is very passionate about scaling business and being the wingman to great leader, ethical entrepreneur who wants to make an impact to the world. He helps many business owners to build their 7 or 8-figure business. So I'm very fortunate to have him on the show. Let's get started. Desmond, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you've been here.
Thank you very much, Thomas. I'm very honored and privileged to be on your show. Your YouTube channel has been growing phenomenally, and I love what you've been doing for in the insurance space. You've been helping me out a lot as well too as a business owner. So I'm happy to be a guest here.
Awesome. So speaking of business owner, Desmond, I always have these dying questions. I know you have many hats. You have many titles. You've been a digital marketer. You've been a business coach. You've been a lot in areas. You have a lot great connection as well too. But I always wonder when did you have that aha moment that, hey, you know what? I want to become a business owner. I want to really help people instead of working for someone else. I really want to start, beside from helping myself, also help other business owners as well. When is that aha moment that you had?
Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna have to dig into the story here. If you want the short and dirty, I think I was kind of born with it. I think there are different types of entrepreneurs in the world. Some just instinctively. I mean, I felt it since I was even in elementary school. Like, I grew up in Singapore. I was born there, and then I, at a very young age, 6, 7 years old, I was already collecting newspapers, taking it to recycle just to get a couple of coins. That's a form of entrepreneurship, and then even in junior high school, I used my entrepreneurship for bad reasons because I saw my friends smoking, marijuana and stuff like that. Me being an immigrant kid, trying to blend in with them, peer pressure. I saw them all buying individual dubs. I said, hey, give me all your money. And I collected all the money, consolidated. I bought wholesale, sold retail. That's a form of entrepreneurship, but in the wrong way. You know what I mean? And then, eventually I even got, at a very young age, I was even involved in some semi-criminal, like young offender stuff. In which I helped some criminals actually do some, kind of B&E stuff, and I'm not proud of those things. Again, led down the wrong direction. Good intention, wrong direction. And then eventually, as I grew older, I actually had mentors. I started to, there was some MLM stuff that I was involved in, and I learned a lot of stuff from the MLM society and networks, in which I learned how to read books. As you can see, I got a lot of books. And one of the first books I read was How to Win Friends and Influence People. So combine that with me now becoming, I'm getting from a teenager to a young adult, dropped out from college. I spent a lot of time in the hospitality industry, in people, and I realized that, people are going to be very, very important. So, some people are introvertish. I grew up as an extrovert. So, I leveraged my skills as an extrovert. And what other better thing to do than to get into business, right? If you're not, if you're an extrovert, you tend to go into sales if you're working in a corporate job. And I found out very, very quickly that, and I had many jobs. I did everything from McDonald's to being a concierge to being a valet, manager, running accounts, and then going to Japan, being an English teacher, working as a consultant, working at all the major financial firms, Goldman Sachs, Lehman Brothers, Accenture, McKinsey, you name it, right? Like I've done that. Then, learning to raise capital, learning to, create a product and offer it to the market and trying to solve a problem in the market. All these things happen, but one thing for sure was definitely having mentors along the way. I wish I could have done that sooner because I made a lot of mistakes. So hopefully that just kind of gives you a general idea of, that big aha moment didn't actually happen overnight. There's a great book, by the way, E-Myth Revisited. That's by Michael Gerber. You guys might probably also see, he's mentored me, and I've had opportunities to talk to him. And he talks about the entrepreneurial seizure. I think that's happened a couple times in my life, you know, and it wasn't just once where I had this great idea. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do a job. You know, I can do this better than the guy I'm working for. That's what he talks about as the entrepreneurial seizure, but we don't have it well planned out, and we don't have a mentor or someone to show us what to do. And so we make this mistake, right? We work in the business rather than on the business. So I've been through a lot of different ups and downs, Thomas.
For sure, because I'm a little different. So my story is more like, 10 years ago, I decided, instead of working for someone else, I wanted to work on my behalf because I don't want to just work. I always been told that if you only work 9 to 6, that only can cover your bill. Whatever that you work after 6, then it will actually, you can pursue your life goals. And that's why I was like, you know what, then it's something that for me to move on, especially in Canada, the more income that you bring in as a personal income, the more taxes that you have to pay and stuff too. And definitely we're going to talk a little more about tax because I know you work with a fabulous accountant as well too. So definitely we're going to touch upon on that. But Desmond, since you mentioned you work in so many jobs, you work with so many people, and I can even say that you are definitely a big influencer as well too. You work with 6-figure, 7-figure, or even 8-figure business owners. What common grounds do you see that, hey, you know what, if I see this person have these kind of traits, they will be succeed?
Wow, okay, so that's a pretty big question. It opens up a can of worms here, but I would say that when you look at the most successful business owners out there, and I do work with a very famous business coach. I have another mentor that I've been with for 7 years. We've grown together, multi-million-dollar business, and he's got a mastermind of his own called the Dragon 100. And there's also Josh Sperl, who's got that's Dan Locke on one side, and you got Josh Sperl on the other hand, who's a business coach for Canadian business owners. What I've seen in the exposure with these multi-millionaires, with these fractional billionaires, all the people that are in that, not even the 4%. You know how we always hear about the 96%, and it's the 4%? No, we're talking like even smaller, like the 1% of that 4%, right? So you guys just crunch the math and do the math on that. The people, the common traits that I notice is they all have mentors, business coaches, mentors, they're part of some sort of mastermind because as business owners, they get very caught up in their business. They're very tunnel vision. They are the king of their heap. They are the queen of their heap. They are and so the advisors is very, very important. There's themselves and the advisors, and the people, their advisors are normally people who are higher level than them, that they submit to, that they learn from. And it's not normally never just one. They may have several advisors or mentors who have what they want, who have been where they've been and have what they want and can guide them through the process. And they pay for that access because they're paying for speed to grow faster. That's number one. Number two, I think that they're all very fastidious. I think almost every single entrepreneur that is successful, they've learned to clean up messes in their life. And so when I talk about messes, we're talking about like emotional messes. We're talking about financial messes. Hence why I have advisors like you, Thomas, or Josh Sperl in my life, who help me to clean up my financial messes. They clean up messes in their physical environment. So their offices are very, very fastidious and very organized and ergonomic and neat, very clean space that allows energy to flow well. They clean up messes in their physical mess. So they're not unhealthy and unfit. This is a danger because a lot of entrepreneurs will sacrifice their health because they're working 80 hours a week, 7 days a week, going crazy, right?
That would be me.
Thomas.
I think that would be me because before we had a chat, I always mentioned that I pretty much worked 7 days a week and pretty much like no vacations, not whatsoever. Especially with COVID, all the sports center have been shut down. So therefore, it's like give me a perfect excuse just to sit on my on my butt and to just work and stuff too. But I realized that when I reached to a certain level, that I cannot think clear as before when I'm doing sports, and therefore I completely agree with you that not just the physical mass, the psychological mass, but also the physical as well too. Correct. And then and
Thomas, when you implement it, right? We discussed it when we implemented, taking that 1 day off, right? Go hard for 6 days, maybe 60 to 80 hours a week, but do it 6 days a week, and then you took that Sunday off. You talked about it in another video that we have on my channel as well too, about the mental clarity, that muscle. You can't be pushing it. It's like working out every day. Imagine like going to the gym every day. You're gonna build your muscle. When's your muscle gonna recover? So your mental muscle, which is our strongest tool as an entrepreneur, needs that rest as well too. How did you find it? I'm interviewing you now, but how did you find that helpful?
No, I find it's great because like you said, right now I'm just taking that day off, not not like resting, just sleeping and you just let the day goes, but it's more like going back to reading, going back to some of the notes. And even right now, I consider myself as a entrepreneur, but at the same time, I actually have 3 different business coaches. I have you, I have Josh, and I have a person named Justin, and each of you have your own RAM. And then so therefore I can learn all the great things about you and then all combine it together. Because again, each person, one of the things that I like about business owners, everyone has different problem, but at the end it's kind of going back in the same problem. It's like, if I have more time, if I have more resources, what should I do? How should I reallocate my resources? And that's the fun part. I think it's like solving a puzzle that every time when you have something done, you feel great success. And I believe that's how me and you get pleasure from when you help someone else who succeeded, you actually feel succeeded as well too.
Correct. And so just touching on a few more other things, all these successful entrepreneurs, they're extremely clear on what problem they're solving in the marketplace. They're very clear on their mission, their vision, and then the core values for what they stand for. Many of these entrepreneurs are not, it sounds cliche, but they're not doing it for the money. Once you get the cash flow and the clients taken care of, and you've got it, many times they're building it for the teams. So Richard Branson talks about it, like how investing in the team, because at the end of the day, customers will come and go. And many times people think customers, the customer is always correct. Well, believe it or not, you actually invest in your internal customers or your team. So, I think, there's probably a lot more areas that I've seen successful traits, but they're very fastidious. They're very disciplined. They're very scheduled. They're very organized in their schedule. We just talked about that, having that thinking time, and they clean up the messes in their life. And again, they have mentors. Many of them will leverage the mentors to buy speed. They'll leverage mastermind to buy speed, because we're A-player types, and we don't normally like to take advice from other people, and we like to we know that we can get it done. Like, get out of my way, let me come in and save the day, right? But at the end of the day, that's also what holds up many business owners from scaling and getting to a higher level. So overcoming that, cracking that code, learning how to beat that is what allows these guys to be about in the 10 millions and above.
And I've been, and I can be very transparent to the audience. I've been working with you for the last 1.5 years, and definitely not only get to know your network as well, too, because you bring in your business partners, so that now I have more people to, because I always believe as one person, you can go really fast, but you can only go far by having a team. So then, through you, I get to meet other great YouTubers, great influencer, and also Josh, great accountant as well too. He helps me to deal with my business clients' accounting, and so therefore we work together closely. And because I think that all together is like puzzles, right? Again, making all together into one giant piece of puzzles that we can present it back to the business owner. Because at the end of the day, I believe that business owner, most of the business owner have the resource, have the advisor. They just save me time, give me a solution that can solve the pain right away. And that's where I think that you're really good at. But let's just say, for example, if I've been working with you for 2 years already, so I kind of know that how you perceive things and how you work along. But let's just say if someone who is actually completely new, don't know who you are, and then he just wants some business coaching that he wants to then take to the next level, what is the steps gonna be? Can you kindly just go over that for us, please?
It really depends on the levels. Quite frankly, I don't really work these days with the absolute beginner. Does not mean I'm a cold-hearted individual. We all have 168 hours in a week, and a portion of that is going towards sleep. Hopefully we're optimizing your sleep as well too. That's a whole separate topic. If you want to watch that video, let me know in the comments below. I'll probably even make a video with Thomas, and we'll talk about sleep and performance. But I think the individuals I want to work with, even if they're just kind of getting started, many times they're a solopreneur. I learned this from my other mentor, Dan Locke, as well too, and several others like Keith Cunningham, roll that stupid here. He's actually the real rich dad. If you know about the rich dad story, I don't want to go into that too much, but Robert Kiyosaki's real rich dad is actually Keith Cunningham. And one of the things that I've discovered is that from 0 to 100, it's all about sales. You can do it as a solopreneur, but once you start getting to the 100,000 more, you need to build teams, and you need to scale, and you need to build in redundancies, the hit by the bus syndrome, contingency. What's going to happen? Most entrepreneurs are building a business, and they're attached to the business because they're actually building a job. They're actually building a prison around themselves. They're not building something that they can sell. There's a great book called Built to Sell, right? As well too. You can read into that and look into that. Ryan Moran talks about that too. Building 6-7 figure businesses with a 8-figure exit, right? Build a business, even if you never ever plan to sell it, build it as if you're going to sell it. So I think, honestly speaking, the main thing here is, how do you build a business that supersedes you, that does not need you, that you can scale? And many of the entrepreneurs are not thinking about that. So for the beginner that's coming to me, if you're within that 100,000 to say $1 million range, a couple of the key things I'm going to look at is, first of all, who's doing your marketing, right? Who's doing your marketing? Are you coachable? Are you very clear on your framework? Are you very clear on what do you mean by framework, Desmond? Well, what is your offer? What's your, how are you bringing your leads in? Do you have a predictable pipeline? Are you just depending on referrals? Do you have budget for paid ads? Do you have budget and the discipline to be putting out regular social media content on a regular basis? How are your Google reviews doing? Do you even have a Google My Business listing? These are the kind of things that I'll look at. If someone says to me, I don't want to make YouTube videos, Desmond, I don't want to be on social media, I may not take them on. If they're not looking to scale the business and build a business that potentially an investor might come in and want to buy from them, even if they don't want to sell it, then they're not the right kind of clients for me to work with. But if they're coachable, usually it's a 1 to 3 year commitment. It's not something, I don't come in, I'm not a magic pill. It's not going to be like, there's going to be a lot of accountability. I can't do it for you. I can do it with you. Is usually a term that many of my clients and my students or my mentees will hear me say. I can't do it for you. I can definitely do it with you. So you're gonna have to roll up your sleeves. We're gonna do that 60 to 80 hours a week, 6 days a week. You will work on your health. You will work on your performance. You will take care of your family, and you will be a great example and leader to your team members. And yes, you will build a company that will have employees or staff members. And it is gonna be, I say 1 to 3 years. Josh, my other business partner mentor, will say 1 to 10 years. I'm saying 1 to 3 years. That's why entrepreneurship is not for everyone. I'm not trying to sound elitist or discriminatory, but I just don't think that entrepreneurship is for everyone. Not the real entrepreneurship. There's these fly-by-nights and people can just put the word entrepreneur in their Instagram or their Facebook and say, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. The rented lifestyle. I've come from that world. I've been in the internet marketing industry. I'm telling you, build a proper company that investors want to buy. That's a true entrepreneur.
I call them the technicians, for the ones who said that. They just pretty much get paid and do, and then just work on.
It's transactional, right? And then what happens if you stop working? Then nothing comes in, right? So hopefully they make enough money to put into investments or insurance or financial products or other financial vehicles that provide recurring revenue for them. But holy smokes, most entrepreneurs, that's why they fail. They don't make it to the 5 years. They don't make it to the 10 years because they may have made $1 million, but it's not about how much money you make; it's how much money you keep.
Yeah, and since you mentioned the word insurance, and this is actually quite a common conversation that I have with my business owner clients, because they put, if I can say that, they always put their health in the lowest priority. They will focus on their business, focusing on the team, focusing reinvest in the business. But when I talk to you, you are quite different, because I know that you have Apple Watch to track, you have a training group, you also have an Oura Ring to monitor your sleep. You've been talking to me with all these guys, so you actually really focus on health. And so to me, it is actually quite different to other compared people. And I'm sure you work from probably, like, you tell me that you work from 5 in the morning till like 7, 8 or 9, sometimes even have to be get up because you have to work with different time zones as well too, right? So I wonder, do you have these kind of conversation with other business owner as well too, in terms of health, in terms of what happens if you are gone as a business planning?
Absolutely, Thomas. I mean, I'm 44 at the time of this recording. Well, 43, turning 44 this year, right? And in my 20s, I thought I was invincible. I think we all did, right? I partied hard, even did recreational drugs, just crazy going. In my 30s, it started to set in, right? When I got married around about 33 and had my first kid and the second kid, it was around the time that I had my second child that I was actually diagnosed with a pre-existing condition. And it took me, it took the wind right out of me. The doctor told me that if I continued my lifestyle and the rate I was going at, if I didn't take care of my health, I would not see my kids grow up. Now, you gotta understand my personality. I don't know about some other entrepreneurs, but from a very young age, and I know a lot of girls do this, I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but I know a lot of girls that are like, oh, I want to get married and stuff like that. Guys don't normally think about that, but I was kind of weird. From a very young age, I always wanted to be a good dad. I already, by my age of 18, 19, 20, even when I was in the MLM business, I saw these mentors that were like husband, wife, very successful. And I really looked up to the dads, the cool dads that had the jet skis and the speedboats and, all kinds of stuff for the kids to go play. And, they had all the toys and the trampoline and shit like that they could give their kids. I wanted to be that cool dad, right, as an entrepreneur. And so from a very young age, when I had my kids, my vision was I'm going to give my kids everything. But at the time that my kids were born, we were living in a one, not even a one bedroom, just a one, we call it 1K in Japan. It's a studio apartment where literally the bedroom's here, the kitchen's right here, the TV's right here, the toilet's right here, the washing machine's right here. Like, it is a very small space. I guess in square foot, probably about 800 square feet, entire apartment, right? Maybe less than that. I think like 600 square feet even, and so we spent time there, and then on top of that, I get sick, right? And, and I find out, like shit, like if I don't take care of my health, I may not see my kids grow up to even get married or even graduate. So it was very sobering for me. And when I got to my later 30s, anyone's watched my story on other social media, even Dan Locke's stuff, and you'll hear about my story in which at the age of 36, I found myself coming back to Canada on the verge of bankruptcy, never bankrupt. I'm very proud of that. Never filed bankruptcy, but on the verge of bankruptcy, owing $150,000 in debt, $150,000, depending on how you look at it, USD versus Canadian. And I had to pay that back, that debt back to our best friend's parents and other people in order to clean up my life. And I came back as a single parent. So it became very apparent to me that in order for me to, now when you're in your 30s and 40s, those of you who have employees, you got T4s, you got benefits, I had no insurance. I couldn't get insurance. I had a pre-existing condition. Everything, the whole income of the family depends on me. People, all these entrepreneurs are like, oh yeah, I'm driving my Lamborghini and they're looking at this nice house. Those are all nice. Don't get me wrong. I definitely love those. I love Porsches. I love, Audi. I love sports cars. I love, I'm a pilot. I even want to own my own plane and fly stuff. But those are not priorities in my life anymore. What keeps me up at night? This is the real truth. What keeps me up at night is what's going to happen to my family if I die. What happens to my family if I get disabled? So, and I love drinking like beers, and anyone who knows me, I don't condone substance abuse. I do not condone drinking too much alcohol, but I do like my beers, and I do like culinary stuff, and I do like, to me, that's my personal preference of what I consider sophistication and my relaxed time to enjoy nice foods and enjoy a nice drink with it and stuff. So I do enjoy that, but there has to be that balance. And I started to notice my energy levels going down, the fogginess in my head, the lack of clarity, having to drink too much caffeine. And I realized that if you could measure, just like we do in business, if you can measure certain things, this is the slight edge. Where's my slight edge? There we go, slight edge, right? It's the small things that we do consistently over time that gives us a slight edge over the average person. And in the game of entrepreneurship, it is like freaking world championships. It is like Olympics. I've had other mentors tell me this and all other entrepreneurs. It is a hard sport, and I want to be a top athlete in this sport. So I need my performance to be there, and that's why health was so important. Therefore, insurance, health, all these things to protect against disability, all these things are very important for not only being the risk taker, but also having people like Thomas who help me put the brakes on and make sure I mitigate risk is very, very important. That's where I learned from Robert Kiyosaki and Keith Cunningham and all these other people by having those advisors around me to support my life. Hopefully that answers the question.
No, for sure. And I think there's no better way than saying it. And I think the way that I interpret it is like, when you talk to a lot of business owners, who are really successful, they will not tell you they have an insurance in place. But the truth is that I kind of have the back data is actually almost pretty much all the millionaires, billionaires, they all have their insurance in place. It's not because they lack of that income. It's more like in case of anything, they can buy back the time for them to transition. They're transferring the risk with pennies to dollars. So why don't they do that? And that is the thing that I always want to preach to, no matter it's business owners, no matter it's family owners, that, hey, you know what? Knock on wood, if you do get sick, it's not just you, but it also affects the family that they need to take time off.
Yes.
To take care of you. So yes,
MSP, that's exactly it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So MSP might pay for you, but they don't pay for your family's mortgage, the payments, the monthly.
So many entrepreneurs fail to think about this one. You get disabled, you're not just affecting your business, you affect your family now. God forbid that you get, permanently disabled, like bedridden or something like that. Oh my God, now you might as well die rather than, and that sounds really harsh, but rather than be a burden to your family, right? And most people don't even think about that. I fully agree with you there, Thomas. But even when I consult with you, I think so many people think on such a low level. They just think insurance is for to get the benefits, the payouts and things like that. I leverage, and many of the entrepreneurs we know all leverage insurance actually as a tax shelter, as an investment tool, done correctly, paired up. Someone like a Thomas matched up with a CPA or a CFO. This is the stuff that the rich know about that the average don't know about. If you're making less than $1 million a year, you're making less than $500,000 a year as a business owner, you probably don't know about this. But guess what? Why do you think the rich keep getting richer? It's so cliche, right? That people say this. But the rich keep getting richer because they have financial tools. And one of those 5, right? And Thomas mentioned it in one of my videos as well too. Maybe Thomas actually mentioned it again. But those 5 things, one of those pillars is insurance.
Exactly.
And it's not just for life insurance or disability. It's actually for investment.
And especially if you've been watching my videos, I always mention the 5 assets you want to have as like cash, paper assets, real estate, insurance, and commodity, because every one of them has their own risk and their own return as well too. So therefore, if the stock market crash, at least you still have your insurance and you can take money out when you're alive. Why Disneyland actually become today's Disney is because they also leverage from the insurance as well too. And this is what is in our textbook that says that. So I think that, as a business owner, that it is important not just how much you can make, but at the same time is how much they can keep from taxes, from other things that I think that is actually crucial to them. But anyway, I know that you're a busy person, so I just want to kind of wrap it up with one final question, Desmond. It's like, again, you've been working with a lot of people. How do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years? Where would you help, or where do you want to develop a better system? How would you see that in the next 3 to 5 years? That what is the challenge for now business owners, and what is your place in there?
That's a great question, Thomas, because I closed the chapter. I'm opening a new chapter. For many years, I worked with my mentor very closely in his organization and grew that organization. But so many people, clients, former students, people have reached out to me and they said, hey, Desmond, would really love to have you as a business coach. So, definitely the business coach aspect is there, the business consultant. These are 2 different aspects. The business consultant provides like digital marketing services, kind of done with you, done for you services. Whereas the business coach is more doing it, it's more of the coaching you and helping you, hold you accountable, giving you the strategies, but you got to do it yourself, right? But I definitely do that. So that aspect will never change, right? It's something that I'm very passionate about. I sometimes even say, when you're passionate about something, you'll do it without even getting paid. In fact, I would gladly do it without even getting paid. That's when you know you're passionate about it. I do it already. I've done that so many times. That being said, though, my time is valuable, and if someone does want to reach out to me, I don't take on too many clients. I am growing other areas in which it will be in the e-com space. We do with a lot of products that deal with performance. This is a project. I work with doctors, naturopathic doctors. I work with medical doctors who are all aligned with the same passion of helping entrepreneurs. Mainly, I do work with a lot of males, though we do have a female segment as well. But in general, I tend to attract a lot of males, mainly between the ages of 30 to 50. And they're either with kids or without kids, but they are A players that want to increase their performance. So, they may be in a corporate job. They don't have to be an entrepreneur all the time, but I tend to attract a lot of entrepreneurs that are males within this kind of demographics. And they want to improve their performance. They saw the pain like me. They saw the fog. They want to be able to spend time with their family. They want to have, that kind of, I don't like to use the word work-life balance, but they do have that balance. And they are high performance, whether it's sleep, whether it's the food, whether it's the way they think, the strategies, the marketing. That's an area that I'm growing right now. And I'm just going to seed it here. I'm going to say, there's some projects I'm working on where I connect, founders of companies with funders. But you got to build a company first. You got to build an entrepreneurship that people want to buy down the road. So these are kind of the talks I'm having with some of the bigger mentors, some of the bigger partners, some bigger players I've nurtured over the years with relationship capital. And that's where I'm going. If you're talking about a 3-year, 5-year vision, and along the way, I'm going to help, a core group of entrepreneurs or top A performers to perform better. But also, if those want to grow businesses and scale it, either strategic alliances or bring in funders to fund your business, to maybe exit, that's the area I'm going in.
Lovely. I really do truly appreciate this opportunity to talking to you, because definitely you're such a busy person, and you're still able to give me time to kind of have a chat with you. And just like you said, right, this is about the passion. It's like you can do it, you can do it for free. It's not like utilizing your free time, but again, you can do it as your hobby, as something that you can passionate, can talk whole day about it. And I truly, appreciate your efforts. But while that being said, again, to the people who is watching this video, again, thanks for your time for watching. Again, if you have questions on how to scale scale your YouTube, how to do better on your business, any questions about insurance, business, neither me and Desmond will come in here to answer your questions. And again, if you want to learn more about Desmond's work, I'll attach his bio in there and then his link in there. And I'm sure we'll get connected in the future as well too. But again, Desmond, thank you so much.
You're most welcome. I hope to see and hear from most of the entrepreneurs out there. Thomas, please invite more entrepreneurs to come on and tell their story as well like this, and maybe even connect us all together so that we can all grow together.
Lovely. Thank you. Oh, finally it's done. Thank you so much, Desmond.
No worries, man. I didn't pee my pants though this time around, and I have some pants on underneath.
But I'm
here.
actually curious. I know you now you work at home, right? If I actually ask you to get up, will you actually able to stand up and show you?
Oh, you're not gonna call me out on this one there. Oh shit. Okay, maybe I just show some skin here. Oh.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Thank you, Desmond.
It's shorts. Just got shorts. You know, it's hot summer, right?
It is.
And we're not using air conditioning to keep the electricity, the environment and stuff like that. So, you know, we try to use natural air as much as possible. But it is pretty warm, so
it is.
Wearing a suit pants is tough. Yeah.
Likewise. Well, again, thank you.
You're welcome.